It's September 15th, 2020, and this is Sketchworks NewsBrake. The news stops here. I'm Brian Troxell. The NFL returned over the weekend, and the obvious top story is the Washington football team is undefeated and in sole possession of first place in the NFC East. That combination hasn't happened since week 2 of the 2011 season. With one win under their belts, the team is 1/4 of the way to their expected 4-12 finish. Yesterday it was reported that unexplained phosphine gas was discovered in clouds on Venus. This could be a sign of alien life on the second planet from the sun. If this is true, it means the Venusians have screwed up their atmosphere just like we have. It was a busy week for President Trump. He was nominated twice to receive a Nobel Peace Prize, and he was personally petitioned by convicted felon Joe Exotic to grant the Tiger King a full and absolute pardon. Plus, there were a number of Trump boat parades last week, and nobody sank. Better hold on to your face masks. The CEO of the world's biggest vaccine producer says a COVID-19 vaccine won't be available for everyone until the end of 2024. However, if you're the kind of person who tramples people on Black Friday just so you can get a deal on a new flat-screen TV, you may have a chance of getting vaccinated before everyone else. On Thursday, U.S. Custom and Border Protection officers at Miami International Airport discovered nearly $500,000 in cash hidden in a chair. That's where my chair got to. You see, I couldn't fit all that money in my wallet, so I put it in my chair, which I always travel with, because of my bad back. So if you could, please, Miami International Airport, send my chair back to me. Thank you. Staying in South Florida, after 13 years, the city of Opa-locka has repealed a ban on saggy pants. Residents of the Miami suburb celebrated this past weekend by wearing saggy pants. A woman in New Hampshire who was told that she couldn't wear an anti-Trump shirt at a polling place due to it being a violation of electioneering rules simply whipped it off and did her civic duty topless. I like her style. Upon being told she couldn't wear the shirt, she promptly pointed at another voter wearing the American flag and said, I'm assuming like a whiny baby, "But what about them?" This leads us into a piece from NewsBrake correspondent and high school debate team member Allie O'Neill.
If you've ever cared for children, you've probably encountered the following scenario. One child misbehaves, you go to reprimand them, and they immediately try to deflect by pointing at some other kid. Hey, what about them? This is known as whataboutery and should not be engaged with. According to a 30-second Wikipedia search I did this morning, whataboutery, also known as whataboutism, is a variant of the appeal to hypocrisy logical fallacy, an attempt to discredit an opponent's position by charging them with hypocrisy without directly refuting or disproving their argument. It's deflection, plain and simple. This tactic is particularly associated with Soviet and Russian propaganda, the troubles of Northern Ireland, and, of course, children.
Why are African Americans still dying at the hands of law enforcement in this country?
And so are white people. So are white people. What a terrible question to ask. So are white people. More white people, by the way. More white people.
Whataboutery might also come from loved ones. If you've ever found yourself in a situation with your parent, child, significant other, or other loved one in which you feel like you can't express any sort of grievance because you know that, honey, can you please take your dirty clothes and put them in the clothes hamper, is going to immediately be countered with, well, what about all of your makeup across the bathroom counter? Or what about all of your jewelry across the bureau? And you feel like you can't express any kind of problem with this relationship because you also are a merely imperfect human and you feel like you can't say something unless you're perfect too. If someone ever makes you feel like that, that's abuse. So when a friend comes to you and tells you that they're unhappy because their chronic clinical depression leads them to be unable to keep down a job and they have to have 3 roommates in order to make ends meet, don't respond with, well, what about all the starving children in India? Because that's real troubles over there. Like, I get that you're trying to put things into perspective for me, but all I need you to do is just listen and be supportive because, honestly, Aunt Sharon, it just feels like you're invalidating my feelings. For Sketchworks Newsbreak, I'm Allie O'Neill.
Thank you, Allie. Personally, I've never cared for children.
Hey, what about me?
No comment? Oh, unless you mean your video piece, Babs, which is coming up later in the show, so calm it down. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is resuming the Madison Dinners, a monthly event the State Department describes as a world-class opportunity to discuss the mission of the department and the complex foreign policy matters facing our exceptional nation. The dinners were halted in March as a result of the pandemic. Resuming the dinners is being denounced as a waste of taxpayer money and inadvisable with the coronavirus still so prevalent. But those people are just jealous because they never get invited. Pompeo insists the dinners resume as they are an important component of the execution of my duties as Secretary of State. Plus, Pompeo gets really cranky when he misses a meal. Doesn't look like that happens very often. The Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade will be virtual this year due to COVID-19. Organizers aren't saying how it will look, but America's worst mayor, Bill de Blasio, promises you'll still be able to feel what he calls the spirit and the joy of that day. Which means you'll have something else to fall asleep to on Thanksgiving. President Donald Trump is proud of what he sees as a successful indoor campaign rally. He spoke to a packed crowd in Nevada and told them the U.S. is making what he calls the last turn in defeating COVID-19. Most of the people in the crowd did not wear any face masks.
The president, though, says wearing a mask is patriotic. Why don't you listen to him?
Because that's my right to choose. I've worked in healthcare for 25 years. I'm telling you, that's not doing a thing for you. It's not.
Do you think the president's wrong on that?
I don't care what his opinion is. I am saying I am entitled to mine. If I thought I was a risk, I wouldn't be here. I'm not an idiot.
Let's see if you still feel that way in the next 14 days. Marshmallow Peeps are one of the latest casualties of COVID-19. The company that makes Peeps won't have any ready for Halloween, Thanksgiving, or Christmas, so employees can instead get ready for Easter, which means trick-or-treaters have one fewer candy to disappoint them. This is also really disappointing to me, because I was hoping to have something cute to blow up in my microwave. Lockdown is so boring.
Hey, what about me?
Okay, sheesh, Babs. Here now with an update to the NewsBrake community calendar of events is correspondent John D. Babcock III.
Hey, Ringo's coming!
Thank you, Babs. Delta Airlines is effectively mortgaging your frequent flyer miles to stay in business. The airline turned down a federal loan in favor of $6.5 billion from its SkyMiles program. If that doesn't work, Delta plans to pay off its loans with Biscoff cookies. The Amsterdam-based gambling website bonusfinder.com is looking to hire a professional cheeseburger tester. The site is in search of the best burger in the U.S., based on a number of criteria, which include patty texture, cheese creaminess, and bun softness. Incidentally, those are also my criteria for a date. The lucky cheeseburger tester applicant will receive funds for travel and burger expenses, as well as $500. $500? That's it? You gotta be kidding me. You can find 1,000 times that in chairs at the Miami International Airport. $500. One of morning television's most popular personalities is opening up about the controversy that cost her a job on NBC's Today Show. But the controversy may get deeper once you see what Sketchworks NewsBrake correspondent Tim Millard found in the NBC archives.
Live from Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza.
And good morning. Welcome to Today on a Thursday morning. I'm Matt Lauer.
And I'm Ann Curry, in for, I guess, nobody this morning.
Ann Curry spent more than 20 years with NBC News, much of it with the network's popular morning news program, Today.
This is not easy to say, but today is going to be my last morning as a regular co-host of Today.
In 2012, she left Today in tears after the network replaced her as its co-host. Subsequent reports blamed her co-host, Matt Lauer, who himself would be fired in 2017 for sexual harassment. Curry tells Elle magazine being fired from Today still hurts because, in her words, "I really think I did nothing wrong." I spent nearly 20 years in broadcast journalism myself. I saw many good people lose their jobs even though they didn't do anything wrong. It even happened to me once. And to be clear, Ann Curry did not do anything wrong. Maybe except for this interview.
Well, now for the first time in the U.S., a major company is using GPS technology to sell a product. Brian Troxell is the Director of Engineering at Arrow Wireless, which designed the GPS Coke can. Brian, good morning.
Good morning. What you do is you just go about your normal business. You carry the can with you. You leave it on. You go to the beach, go to the ballpark, whatever. And at some point throughout that window, the search team will activate the GPS in the can remotely, and they will unexpectedly show up.
Really? Tracking people through their beverages? Hey, Brian, let's see you track me through this. For Sketchworks NewsBrake, I'm Tim Millard.
Thank you, Tim. Damn, 34-year-old me was a really good-looking guy. This GPS Coke can phone also looked a heck of a lot better in 2004. Alas, my TV news show friend, there's simply no escaping the ravages of time.
Hey, what about me?
Babs, as long as you protect your magical Dorian Gray portrait, you'll stay young forever.
I'm 109 years old.
Don't rub it in. New coronavirus restrictions in Queensland, Australia prohibit guests from dancing at weddings, but allow group sex at swinger clubs and adult parties, which doesn't make any sense at all. According to a documentary I saw this week, dancing at weddings frequently leads to group sex. I think it was a documentary. Does Pornhub show documentaries? Or was that Netflix I was watching? Last week, Los Angeles County officially banned door-to-door trick-or-treating this Halloween. A day later, they reversed themselves, saying kids can trick-or-treat, but it's not recommended. However, they are sticking to their guns and forbidding Santa Claus from delivering presents this year. With Santa's weight problem and his diabetes, he is considered high risk and shouldn't be going from house to house during COVID, cold, and flu season. When reached for comment, a Santa spookself said, "LA can suck it." Wildfires continue to burn in California. Forestry experts say the situation is exacerbated by thousands of pants on fire produced by liar politicians in the Golden State. A female python in a St. Louis zoo has laid a clutch of eggs, apparently without the help of a male. When asked how this happened, senior herpetologist Jeff Goldblum said, "Life finds a way." Tiger King star Carole Baskin made her debut on Dancing with the Stars by dancing to Eye of the Tiger. Her dance partner eventually plans to disappear without a trace and be declared dead 5 years later. Speaking of being dead in 5 years, that's all for Sketchworks NewsBrake. We'll be back next week, and we hope you are too. I'm Brian Troxell. Say hi to your mom for me.
And who has your back. A Harris administration together with Joe Biden as the President of the United States. The Biden-Harris administration will have access.
Hey, what about me?